So for today's training, will be all about the IPC WizMind S series, an upgrade of IPC WizMind 5 series. So let's take a look at today's content, then we begin from that point. So based on today's training, content will be as follows. We'll take a look at the product overview. Then the second part will be the artificial intelligent image ability of the WizMind S product series. In this case, to this second part, we'll be describing all about the AI low illumination effect for the images. And alongside AI WDR, we have the time division, time exposure technology for the image ability of the WizMind S series product. Then the Deeplight function. Then the last thing we'll describe in this second part will be the image distortion correction through the LDC function of the product. Then from there, we'll take a look at the multi-intelligent function, some of the AI functions enabled on this WizMind S series product. Then environmental adaptability of the products, such as the product having a dual power connection, then the plastic-free packaging, and we'll finalize the discussion by having taking a look at the different application scenarios where this WizMind 5S series can be applicable. So let's start with today's content. So with this product overview, just taking a look at what the WizMind S series IPC product entails. So in this case, this product is meant to give us a smarter vision of the images and the smarter vision of all the video footages or the snapshots that the camera will provide to us. Then again, offer us a stronger shield in terms of the different weather patterns. For example, the dustproof ability of it, waterproof ability of it, and again, its IK10 protection against impact and shock. So when we talk about the WizMind 5S series, this product is basically going to give us most of the functions that are listed here: AI-powered imaging, the Deeplight functions, video metadatas, perimeter protection, just to name a few. So in this case, WizMind S is basically an upgrade of the general IPC WizMind 5 series, of which both the image effects and intelligent applications have been improved effectively upwards. And loading with innovative AI-powered image technology, the WizMind S product utilizes strong AI computing power to further improve the image quality produced by the camera itself. So in addition to the AI computing power and the AI power image technology, the product as well has rich AI functions, such as the new functions of the video metadata, which could meet the needs of various application scenarios to meet the different customer demands and satisfaction. So with this case, Sorry about that. So let's try to explore some of the product features. So what has been upgraded in the normal WizMind IPC series to the IPC WizMind S Series. So in this case, the major upgrades includes stronger computing power compared to the previous generation. This has improved image effects and enriched different intelligent functions. So with this, the interfaces and other protection capabilities have been enhanced to meet the user's requirements in the various different scenarios. So those upgrades have been clustered into three groups. We have the image, the intelligent functions of the product, and the interface and the promotion, the protection ability of the product. When you go to the image, we have new features. That is the AI-powered image ability. That is improves the image effect through its various artificial intelligence features that are meant to enhance the image quality. Then we have the Deeplight function. That's basically meant for areas where we have low illuminations, and the range between 0.005 lux values and 0.001 lux values. So in this case, in places where we are suffering from inadequate lighting, this WizMind S product is going to give you better images because of their AI image performance. So the intelligent functions, we have some smart video metadata, just to enable us to collect more information about what the camera has captured based on the vehicles, the non-vehicles, and the human features. We have the smart sound detection. So this is the ability of the product to detect different sounds from different items that are producing different sound effects. Let's say, for example, you have glass breaking, people shouting, etc. So that's basically going to, the product can differentiate between all those noises or maybe sounds produced by different entities outside there. We have face detection, perimeter detection, people counting, that supports all the rules that can provide you with a different statistics report. Again, heat map. This has been upgraded to passenger flow statistics algorithm, just to get to show, maybe to get to know the number of individuals within a certain parameters. Then this supports the smart motion detection 3.0 with an accuracy rate of 98%. On the interfaces and the protection ability of the camera comes with some of these new features. For example, the dual power backup. That is only for the bullets, the domes, and the eyeballs, and not the box cameras. So with the dual power backup, this basically shows that the camera can survive in case, let's say, for example, one line, maybe one channel, power channel goes down. The other channel is basically supporting the camera to keep on doing its normal recording. We have built-in mic that is for all the products of the WizMind S series. This supports dual mic. In this case, with the dual mic, again, the distance of detection, or maybe the distance of capturing all those audio sources from within the parameters, you find that now the distance has been stretched to by 10 meters again. Then again, that becomes easier to collect those sounds from the different sources, just to ensure that the camera can process and the users can end up getting to hear streams from those particular sounds. Then this camera comes with what we call the P-iris. And this P-iris is basically one way of addressing the shortcomings of an auto iris lens over the normal cameras. So in this case, the P-iris, what it does, it provides more improvements in terms of the contrast, clarity, resolution, and the depth of field of what the cameras captures. So this P-iris function, or this P-iris feature, makes the images and video collected by the camera a bit more presentable when it comes to visibility of the content, either background and the foreground environment. So we have some product families for the WizMind S series that comes with two types of lenses. We have some that come with the varifocal lenses, some come with the fixed focal lenses. So we know that the fixed focal lenses basically implies that you cannot alter or adjust the length of the lens for the camera, but the varifocal lenses, these are the types of lenses that one can manually adjust or use the motorized function of the camera to adjust the lens size. Let's say, for example, from 2.7 millimeters up to roughly 12 to 13.5 millimeters in terms of its size. So these products, these are the various products that are available at the moment for the WizMind S series. We have the bullets, we have the box cameras, we have the vandal-proof domes, we have eyeballs, just to mention a few for this particular range of the products. So all these, can take a look at this from the model numbers. All of these are basically starting the first value being 5 to show that this is a WizMind series, but a WizMind S upgraded product from the WizMind 5 normal IPCs. So this WizMind, they come with different resolution types from 2 megapixels, 4, 5, and up to 8K, 8 MP, that is a 4K resolution. Alongside that, they come with an AI-enabled generation, so implying that these cameras will support additional AI functions just to suit the different environmental needs for different clients outside there. So we have then find that some will come with the WDR or starlight function, etc. So in this case, this is going to show the functions for the camera in cases where we need to have low light support. So this product, the bullet here, supports built-in mic. It's highly rated against water and dust. That is IP67, and again IK10, that is protection against impact or shock. Or here they support the dual power backup. So this has two power connectors. So the box camera only supports the built-in mic. That's another feature. For these vandal-proof domes, it supports the same features like the bullets here. This supports dual backup as well. So when you go to, let's say, for example, the fixed focal lenses, we have the bullets, the domes, and again, we have the eyeball, this at the end again. So all these are highly protected against dark dust and water. All of them have IP67. They have a built-in mic, and they all support the dual power backup. So in this case, we only have two types of variants in terms of the lenses, the varifocal lenses and the fixed focal lens. And each of these products will support different functionalities in terms of even the places where they can be mounted. So since they support the IK10 and IP67, so it implies that these products are vandal-proof and they can be installed in different areas, for example, outdoor scenes. Okay, so let's take a look at the second part. And this second part is basically going to be describing all the features when it comes to the image quality. So the first function will be all about low illumination. Let's take a look at this. So this is for image AI power image. So in this case, we'll start by describing some of these functions here. So AI powered image tends to use a lot of AI technology. And the reason it uses this AI technology is basically to improve the quality of the video or the snapshot collected by the cameras. And then again, it can restore the details of a target. So those details of a target are basically those details in real time. So it can compare between what the camera has captured and what has been captured, or maybe what is different in those particular scenes. So they're equipped with an artificial intelligence image sensor processor unit to get better video image effect. And in the scenes of low light, places where we have low light, places where we have a lot of backlight, and again where we have different sources of producing strong lights projected towards those particular cameras. So in this case, they're equipped with what you call the time division exposure technology, that is, which can make the target snapshots much clearer. So when you take a look at this, when talking about the time division exposure, so we find that, let's say, for example, there's a dual, there's an individual walking at some point, and there's a vehicle passing by that particular area where the individual is. You find that the vehicle tends to move more faster than the human being. So in this case, these particular cameras or products will end up using the time division exposure just to ensure that it can get a better image quality for the human being who's walking a little bit slower compared to the vehicle, again, moving at a very high speed. So it's basically going to take those two image forms and perform the video analytics to give you better quality images when it comes to the two objects passing by where the camera is. So we have this, that's the traditional ISP for the images. That's like the processor of the image. So the lens collects the light from different sources, and that particular light is basically going to be processed by, let's say, for example, the sensor. So goes the sensor. The sensor does performing of optimization of the image, where we have the white balance. So it performs the white balance because most of the images captured from the different sources, they're basically affected by the warm light from the environment. So the white balance feature corrects those options just to give you the better, the normal quality, image quality from what has been captured, the object that has been captured by the camera. So alongside that, now the data or the pictures goes to this demosaic function, and that's basically a digital image processor that uses it used to reconstruct the full color image from an incomplete color samples output from an image sensor overlay with what we call the color filter arrays. So in this case, this corrects those incomplete color images into a complete image. Then it takes it to the gamma correction function. So in this gamma correction function, it does basically an operation that is used to encode and decode the luminance values in videos or the still images, just to ensure it can give you better quality images as well. So in this case, these are the kind of output that will be generated by this traditional ISP from this traditional cameras that are not of the WizMind S level. So on the WizMind S, we supports the AI ISP, that's the image signal processor, but basically enhances the product in such a way that it can be visible enough. So this uses what you call the artificial intelligence high dynamic range. That's basically meant to do that image enhancements just to give it more quality, like we need to have it. So alongside having that AI high dynamic range, again, the signal processor has what you call the artificial intelligence noise reduction, 3D noise reduction. And this 3D noise reduction, what it does is basically removes those electrical noises that has been captured by the camera in places where we have low illumination, or maybe, for example, the places that don't have any kind of lighting at all. So on that 3D DNR, basically going to reduce those electrical noises in places where we have the images in black and white, so that you can have a fine image. So in the event, let's say, for example, the images are in colored, what will happen is that, again, the white balance function will eliminate those environmental warm lights just to give the ordinary colors to the objects that have been captured by the cameras. So we talked about this, the mosaic function or the mosaicing function. We talked it before, saying that that's a digital image processing that uses basically used to reconstruct the full color image from incomplete color samples output. So this is the end product. Can compare between the two, can get to see clearly that the individual here portrait or image is more sharper compared with what we have at this particular traditional ISP. So the only difference is that this uses the AI ISP. Then again, we have AI HDR function and AI DNR, 3DNR function included into that the image signal processor. That's like the brain of the camera. So more into it, we have AI improved low illumination image effect. So this AI power image uses the artificial intelligence to calculate the image with the noise of the background reduced and the clarity of the full image improved at all. So in this case, making the image more transparent and more delicate. So in this case, all about the noise reduction in the background, this is done by the AI 3D noise reduction. And here we have the HDR function or the AI HDR function calculating the image just to ensure that it enhances it more further. So we have the WizMind S product series here, output, compared with the previous general product, WizMind 5 IPC. So in this case, the outputs are going to be slightly different, that is. If you take a look at this, the image captured for this particular human being is basically clearer, has a clearer face with less noise. So face with no noise, that electrical signals that are basically meant to distort the image have been removed completely because it supports the AI 3 DNR function. So take a look at this again, at this end. The kind of light illuminated by this lighting here, this source of light, you find that it's not that reflective. You can end up getting to see the background image behind this source of light, as compared with what we have from the previous WizMind 5 IPC. So this has collected a lot of noise because this only supports 3D noise reduction, but is not that intelligent compared to the WizMind S series product. Now, on the background, let's say, for example, in the background, we can see that the output generated by this WizMind 5 IPC product, the product tends to get some reflection of this source of light here affecting the background image. You can see the background image is not that seen clearly because of the reflective light source for this particular end again here. So in this case, we find out that the 3D noise reduction supported the AI and the AI HDR function with the mosaicing again with the gamma correction affecting the output, making it more clearer as compared with the general WizMind 5 IPC product. So that is all with the low illumination image effect produced by the WizMind S series, that is. When we take a look at the WDR, using the AI-powered image, this WizMind 5 S series uses an improved AI WDR image effect. So we have AI improved WDR effect And in this case, this gives us better dynamic, wide dynamic processing ability in the background, in the backlight condition when the DNR is on. So this can restore more target details and provide users with clearer image with less noise in the background. So take a look at this. So we have just comparison between the two places where we have the backlight. So we have a lot of light from the back coming from the back, and that can affect the image quality. But because we support the AI improved wide dynamic range image effect, it corrects those issues and tends to bring you an image that blends well with the background of the image itself. So this is for an outdoor scene for AI improved WDR image effect function. So the same case again, to have the clarity of the full image and clear vehicle body. When the WDR is on, or the wide dynamic range function is on, it restores more target details and a strong illumination during the day. So in this case, this is the kind of output produced by the two products, the general WizMind 5 IPC product compared with the WizMind S Series product. So the outputs, this is what it's basically going to provide. Maybe, for example, this is the final output. So it captures the entire object. After capturing the entire object, we can snip some specific sections that we want to output, just to ensure that we can have a better comparison between the two products. So in this case, you can take a look at the top or maybe the roof of this particular vehicle compared to this. This looks more crystal clear as compared with just the general WizMind 5 IPC. At the license plate, the image capture is basically more clearer as compared with the other predecessor product, that is a WizMind 5 IPC products. So in terms of, so in this case, you can compare the two. We have the contrast, the clarity, the resolution, and the depth of field of what has been captured is more clear as compared with the previous version of the WizMind 5 IPC products. So let's describe the time division exposure technology, AI-powered image. So the AI-powered image covers time division exposure technology, which is used when the humans and vehicles are mixed at night at the same time. And this time division exposure is loaded in the AI function of the metadata to provide clearer target snapshots between the two. So in this case, what we have at the moment here, we have some challenges here. The difference brightness and the speed at the same time becomes a challenge, just to ensure, to make the camera capture clearer details. So in this case, we have the long exposures here with the different short exposures over the different scenes that we have. So the face is clearer, but the plate is overexposed. Cannot see the plate much clearer. So in this case here, we have the plate is clearer, but the face is underexposed. So we find that we have different, for example, for the long exposure, it's basically more lighting towards the camera, and the camera cannot capture what we have as the plate for this particular product. So the plate is not that visible, but since this individual here, it's clearer, it can capture better images. Now the short exposures, so simply implies that it does not affect the image quality from the camera. So what it affects is basically places that do not have better exposures, just to make them more lighter and more clearer. So all these issues caused by the different levels of exposures can be corrected by having this WizMind the WizMind S family product. So in this case, we have the time division exposures. So here we have the brightness and the speed adaptive composure exposures technology, just to ensure that we can see both targets more clearly. So the reason why this is applicable is simply because the configure optimal exposure independently for targets of different brightness, so different exposures. So it will pick the brightness of the human beings on its different level exposure, and then again configure itself to have the different exposures from places where we have long exposures or high exposures in terms of too much lighting or the low lighting. So after there, we find that it's going to have them separately processed to give you better imaging for the two objects at the same time. So the Deeplight function for more low illumination effects. This is the different lux values and the different functions that have been upgraded upwards until you got to the Deeplight function. So in this case, we have the starlight function, then has been upgraded upwards to a starlight function that supports different lux values. Then we have, from the starlight functions, we have the Deeplight function. So remember that we have more other functions that support low illumination ranges, but now, since we're talking about the Deeplight functions, that's an AI image ability support for the WizMind S series product. You find that in between here, there's some other functions which have been left out. Those functions are lower compared to the Deeplight function. So Deeplight is basically an upgrade of all those functions just to ensure that during the day or night, we have better image quality compared to the other series of these other previous products. So we have more details of the targets, for example, here. Then again, we have the long IR distance in same conditions. So implying that in this kind of scenery here, we can end up seeing the individuals much clearer, but then again, we can end up getting to see the details on the background, the far distant background images from the individuals that we have here. So this again can give us rich details about the environment where the individuals or the vehicles are. Maybe, for example, during the night, and again, this place is not that well illuminated. So this uses its IR functions just to ensure that it illuminates this region here to end up seeing the clear details about the individual himself and the background properties with that particular scene. So in this case, the WizMind S series has better low illumination image effects under the same lighting conditions. That's a Deeplight. So implying that it can attract lots of minimal sources of light into the camera just to ensure that it can So on the image quality, we have the image distortion correction. So in this case, we have 3 different images here. And these images are basically showing the different corrections for the images that have been distorted. It's simply because of what you call the DLC function. That is the lens distortion correction function ability of the WizMind S series. So in this case, the IPC's WizMind S, they're equipped with the lens distortion correction function, or the LDC function that adopts AI correction algorithms, making each frame of a video footage more natural and more realistic. So if you take a look at this, this is the original image captured by, let's say, for example, just a WizMind 5 IPC. So simply because of the lens distortion, we find that the images, for example, the tall buildings tend to be a little bit warped. They're not that straight, they're a bit warped because of the circular nature of that particular lens. Now, once, let's say, for example, you correct this option by enabling this LDC function, that's the lens distortion correction function. If you enable it, this is the kind of image that you're going to end up viewing. It looks less distorted, but we have lost a lot of field of view. A lot of field of view has been eliminated from this picture here. You can take a look at this. There's a lot of warping of this particular image. We have a lot of field of view, but upon activating this function, we end up losing that field of view. Okay, so that is for now the WizMind 5 IPC products. Now on the WizMind S, what it does, it corrects the image, then again brings back that field of view that was lost once activated the LDC function on the other products. So this is a one way just to do better correction effect and the less loss in field of view when this LDC function is enabled. So you can compare between the three images, then realize that the WizMind S series products provides better image quality, and then again retains that field of view that was lost when the other products LDC's option was enabled. So let's take a look at the third part, that is talking more of the built multi-intelligent function of the WizMind S product series. So in this case, we have multiple intelligent functions, and some of these functions are quite similar to some of the products, but these are basically AI-enabled functions. So we have the video metadata. That's a new function in the IPC WizMind S series. So in this case, detects human, vehicle, and motor vehicle, and output attribute information. So this output attribute information is basically going to be, let's say, 24 in nature, categorized by different classes. So we have human detection, whereby it can put more information about what has been captured. For example, the age, the gender of the humans. For example, go to the vehicle, can specify, let's say, the color of the vehicle, the make and model of the vehicle, etc. Then motor vehicles again can specify some information to it, just to ensure that we have more information backing up what the camera has captured. Then we have, after detecting all this, then you can put some other attribute information to what has been captured, just to facilitate better understanding of the different scenes, or different objects in different scenes captured by the camera as well. So perimeter protection is a multi-intelligent function enabled in this WizMind S series. So this will focus on the humans and the vehicles and reduce what we call the false alarms effectively. So in this case, we have the target filters, and those target filters will be based on the humans and the vehicles. Then there's some other non-essential alarm targets. Let's say, for example, animals, maybe water. We have bright lights, falling leaves or branches. So those are basically going to be filtered out as non-essential alarm triggers. We have people counting function, or maybe people counting AI function of the product, can detect the human, the number of personnel, and provide valuable reports, extracts from what has been captured. So in this case, what we have is that it can generate a list of products, based on what has been captured. Let's say, for example, human beings get into a certain area that had been marked as the rule area. So the minute you pass that particular section, it counts the number of individuals. If it's for the vehicles, the same case again. So it can count the people walking in, walking out, and the people retained in a certain intrusion area. At the same time, provide some other meaningful information such as, for example, queue management, etc. Its smart motion detection ability has been enhanced from the smart motion detection version 3.0 to 4.0. So the difference in this is basically having quality in terms of accuracy from 98% to 99% effectively. So in this case, having that ability of detecting objects at that particular rate, it ends up reducing a lot of false alarms triggered by animals and any other non-essential alarm trigger. So the only challenge is that the update detection algorithm does not support the quick pick function. So maybe in future we'll have the quick pick function supported on this WizMind S series. We have another function such as a face detection function. So detects the face, output optimal snapshots, and provide the attribute information about that particular human being. So those attribute information includes things to do with, let's say, for example, the face of that individual. Maybe it's sad, it's happy, confused, calm, etc. So those are some of the attributes information can be added after detecting the different faces for different human beings. We have the smart sound detection. So in this case, this detects different sounds such as screaming and glass breaking. So in this case, that can detect those sounds and filter them from just the ordinary human sounds. For example, using the pickup, can pick up the normal human behavior sounds, and again, these other outrageous sound itself, for example, the screaming and the glass breaking. So heat map is another new feature. So that's basically upgraded to algorithm that can be enabled simultaneously with the people counting. So in this case, so this can support two functions simultaneously. Then we have the smart object detection. So the smart object detection, that's the ability of the camera to detect abandoned objects and missing objects such as box, luggages, we have bags, and some other non-motor vehicle objects. So in this case, this can easily detect those objects and maybe trigger an alarm just to ensure that we have individuals coming to this section and moving them away from that particular point. So let's talk about this function one at a time, just to get to understand them more based on some of these illustrations that we have here. So video metadata is basically a new AI function in WizMind S series. This utilizes the following properties: deep learning algorithm to detect, to track, and capture image of targets. And those image of targets can include the human, vehicles, and motor vehicle targets. So select images in the best quality and extract some relevant attributes. Reports on targets, quantity can be exported. Reports can be extracted or exported by day, week, month, or year. So there are some other series that do not support license plate recognition, but supports license plate captures. So in this case, there's an illustration here, just try to understand how the camera captures these details here. Let's take a look at this. So we have the first motorbike, the second, we have the vehicle captured, etc. So as it captures these objects, it registers them in the system, providing them relevant metadata, maybe relevant additional information to them again. So capture, then registers. Capture, register, giving you more information to what has been captured by the cameras. So like we said before, this series does not support license plate recognition. It only supports license plate capture. So the difference between those two. So this other end here, this second thumbnail, you can see the types of reports that can be generated by the system itself. So this kind of report can be extracted daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, depending on the user needs. The capacity detection accuracy rate is up to 97%. Then again, this supports simultaneous detection of up to 100 targets. Okay, so the more the number of individuals or maybe targets crossing that particular section before that camera will capture them immediately, just to ensure that it provides you with multiple information, clear, rich, detailed information about what has been captured. So at the bottom here, we have the human metadata on human vehicle and motor vehicle. So this supports up to 26 attributes. And these 26 attributes are basically subdivided into face, human body, and motor vehicle and motor vehicle. So for the face, supports up to 6 attributes, human body, 7 attributes. We have the non-motor vehicle 6 attributes, the vehicle 7 attributes. So if you count all these attributes, total up to 26 attributes. So for example, the face is a snapshot of the face, provides the following information. For example, can tell the age of the individual, the gender of the individual, the facial attributes, for example, happy, sad. Then again, some other accessories within the face of that particular human. For example, you have glasses. If they have a mask, and detect the mask. What else that can have? Say, for example, if the individual has a hat or a cap, it will basically list it part of those attributes. So for the human body, it can actually get some more information to it. For example, information such as maybe umbrella carried, maybe you have bags, the pants, the lower bottom section. Maybe, for example, the upper part, we have either a shirt or a t-shirt or a coat, etc. So those are some information that can be extracted from the human body. So the non-motor vehicles, again, some other attributes which can be captured for the face. These are basically, let's say, for example, motorbikes and bicycles. For the vehicles, we have more the information that can be captured from the vehicle. For example, the color of the vehicle, the number plate of the vehicle, we have the make and model of the vehicle, just to name a few. So some of the values or the advantages that can be provided by having these kind of intelligent functions for the video metadata is basically having a way that can generate some statistical report for your business analysis. At the same time, check on the attributes based on the different AI search on an intelligent NVR. So the applications for these kind of cameras, you can have them in different places, such as the squares and the entrances, or again, you can have important traffic flow just to monitor the scenes at that particular end, just to ensure that we have better traffic flow within that particular area. Alongside the video metadata, we have the smart sound detection function on the camera itself. So in this case, all these are supported by the deep learning algorithm. And this smart sound detection detects sounds of screaming, breaking glass, and any other sound generated by different elements within the environment where the camera is. Then after detecting all those, it timely pushes the alarms to help users deal with the scenes in that particular point in time. That is timely. So this can use a high fidelity pickup speaker just to ensure that it can pick the audio sounds from the environment where the camera is. And the detection type, like you've seen before, that the glass breakings or the screamings of the individuals. So in this case, can combine the sound of detection and video monitoring, can improve the user's experience on surveillance levels. So on the people screaming, can hear what you can't see, and effectively improve the monitoring scope of the environment that you're providing such solutions. So the main application areas where these kind of products can be used, we have them in, for example, shops, we have in campuses where we have bigger compounds, we have communities, we have banks, etc. So just for the purposes of ensuring the security of that areas, so we have products that can support different detection types of the different sounds produced by multiple sound generation elements within the environment. So here we have some IVS function that is for the perimeter protection. So these are just the normal, or maybe the normal rules that you set using the IVS, but in this case, they have different levels of accuracy when it comes to the WizMind S series. So in this case, this can recognize human and vehicle more accurately and provide users with rich detection types to deal with the different applications, such as tripwire intrusion, fast-moving objects, parking detections, loitering detection, people gathering detection, etc. So in this case, these are some of the examples of the rules that can be set. Here we have a tripwire, here we have an intrusion, some tripwire again, some other tripwires. Then these tripwires are set, there's some rules, the direction can be defined, the direction to which the movement should flow. So values generated by this is that can have strong environment adaptability, high accuracy rate in terms of detecting those violations. Then again, we have the wide range of applications where this can be enhanced or placed. So at the bottom, we have just a comparison between the traditional IVS and the perimeter protection. In this case, the traditional IVS will take all these elements to be examples of alarm filters, of which most of them will produce those false alarms. But with the perimeter protection, only filters everything apart from the human and vehicle. So these are the only true elements that can produce the alarms, or they can be used to trigger the alarms, not just producing the alarms. So the face detection, this is another important function on this WizMind S series, that is. So in this case, through the deep learning, face detection detects faces in different scenes. And on this basis, it supports detecting, tracking, capturing, and selecting the best face images to output different face snapshots. Face attribute information, again, can be classified into different multiple types for better analysis of the information captured by the camera. So we have a small video clip here just trying to illustrate how that works. So this individual just walks through this turnstile. The camera captures the face, then adds more information, as you can see from this particular section here. The gender is male, the age is young, expression, there's happy, glasses, that's general. We have the face mark, doesn't have face mark, doesn't have beard, etc. So these are some examples of those attributes that can be added to the face captured, to the faces captured by the WizMind S series. Can take a look at that again. So the minute you walk past the turnstile, it captures your face, then adds these attributes for you. So we have the gender, glasses, we have the beard, mask, expression, age, etc. Other important features based on the values generated by this is that we have the alarms, we have search and statistic value functions. For the alarms, this is with an NVR, it can filter block list face for early warning, and again for identifying the VIP individuals. So we have the search function that is with the same NVR. It can help users search for target based on the face attributes. So instead of just searching everything that has been captured, we can search by the face IDs or the face attributes. Then we have some statistics can provide users with statistics on face to do more data analysis. So the application areas for this, we can have them in retail. We can have, for example, let's say factory entrances where we need to have individuals having their full PPE kits, okay, or the personal protective equipment for each. For example, the helmet, let's say the dust coat, the mask, maybe the protective eyeglasses, the safety boots, etc. So the minute you walk past the entrance, it checks on all those features, and either allows you to go in or maybe sounds an alarm for someone to come and enforce those rules. So we have more on this, people counting, that is. So one, we have, it has counted one individual. So you can realize the number keeps on increasing as the people enter into this intrusion area here. So this individual is basically going to queue within the same line. So the queue is basically one. If you add on individuals queuing at this particular point here, to increase the number of queue to 2. So in this people counting AI function, the people counting AI function can track and detect moving human targets and generate accurate statistics based on how the movements are. Then again, supports 3 modes, and each mode can set up to 4 separate rules. So this feature provides customers with valuable data for business analysis. So in this case, that is how the people counting function work. So at the bottom here, we have some other, for example, people counting line crossing. This can either use the 3D feature, or the 2D feature. The 2D, only the head and the shoulder information will be captured. 3D captures the entire information on that particular individual crossing on that particular line. We have the queue management, provides the number of people waiting time in queue, making it convenient for users to manage and save on labor cost. People counting an area can detect the number of people in an area and push alarms if it exceeds the rule. And this function can detect departure and prevent stampedes. So in this case, let's say, for example, we had this intrusion area here, this section drawn. If we had, let's say, for example, say that this area will only accommodate maybe 50 individuals. If you have more than those 50 individuals, what will happen is that it will trigger an alarm just to have the security personnel come and contain the situation here by removing the extra number of individuals from this area here. So by doing so, in cases where we have some other items, maybe hazards, we can avoid instances such as stampedes, whereby we have people running towards the same direction, maybe to a certain exit. Heat map is another AI function for this WizMind S series. So here we're told that the heat map could use different colors to reflect the main target, the number of targets that is in a detected area. And with this, it can be stored according to the time dimension, and it supports analysis of 2 dimensions. That's the number of people and the average strand time. Number of people and the average strand time. So this is just an ordinary image from an ordinary lens that provides all this. On a heat map, this is what the kind of output is basically going to be generated. So in this case here, we're going to have some different values based on the accurate target detection, business analysis, and risk management. Applicable sections or areas where we can have this is on retail stores and outdoors spaces where we need to have controlled movement of individuals. So for example, the strand time of individuals, or places where we have set a threshold of the number of people supposed to be at that particular point at a certain time. If they exceed, an alarm will be triggered just to ensure that the situation can be contained or accommodated. So this is the smart object detection function. This smart object detection detects different types of products, or the different types of with the use of the deep learning algorithm, they're basically used to focus on detection of objects such as boxes and bags, or any other object or property left behind by maybe different individuals. So it effectively filters out interference caused by lights, animals, and other irrelevant objects that can cause an alarm, thus providing customers with accurate alarm information and reduces the false alarms. So in this case, this is the detection area. And if we leave items such as boxes and bags, this is basically going to trigger an alarm. So accuracy rate we have, let's for example, we have 90%. So in this case here, we have an umbrella left, so this will not trigger an alarm. We have some books left, for example, for users forgot the books there and they're detected, that will not trigger an alarm again. So we have different 4 kinds of objects. For example, bags, boxes, luggages, and motor vehicles. Some other items just to enable to reduce the false alarms are of course listed using this other end again. So this is like a traditional IVS that cannot filter out those non-essential alarms. So this detects any abandoned or missing objects just to ensure that it supports or maybe gives us these security features just to ensure that at least whatever has been left is not that malicious, or whatever is missing can be traced accurately. So on the environmental vulnerabilities, we have a few features supporting that concept. So in this case, this WizMind S series has what you call the dual power backup. When the switch power and the power adapter, either DC or AC, are connected, at the same time, the IPC can automatically switch to another power if any of the power cuts off. So this IPC will not restart. It will ensure that there's that continuous working of the device just to keep on that continuous recording of the video footages of the scenes where the camera is. So the challenges, we have them here. So whereby, let's say, for example, the power supply is unstable and is not suitable to power up the device. Maybe again, support the device to keep on being powered up. Then we have, for example, the IPC must work for 24 hours in important monitoring scenarios. So in this case, where we need to have the IPCs to keep on running 24 hours just to capture those important scenarios, you find that it became a little bit difficult simply because when the power is cut off, the camera could not capture any kind of scenes. So, but now with this WizMind S series, we have the dual power connection mode. So we have just the normal Ethernet or the PoE, and again we have an alternative priority, that is AC 24 volts power. When one of them goes off completely, what will happen is one of them goes off, it switches to the other, and just to have that continuity of recordings. So the value generated from this kind of a dual power connection modes, we have that reliability, then restart, and again keeps the cameras doing their usual functions for 24, recording 24 hours, 7 days a week, around the clock. We have more other functions such as the p-iris function of the camera. So the p-iris, the anti-corrosion features, the dual mics, and the heater. So these are some of the environmental adaptability on the WizMind, that is WizMind S series. So the p-iris, that is through the precise lens aperture control to adjust the light input and restore the image authenticity to the maximum extent. So what this p-iris does is basically tries to address some of the other shortcomings of the previous WizMind 5 eyepieces, auto iris lenses. So those auto iris lenses had some other issues. So, but this p-iris, what it does, it provides improvements in the image contrast, image clarity, image resolution, and again, the image depth of field. So this gives you those complete, rich details about what the camera has captured. We have the anti-corrosion, that is a part of the environmental adaptability. So anti-corrosion product models are ideal options for coastline or seaside monitoring scenarios where we have a lot of saline environment. So in this case, those anti-corrosion products can survive for longer. Their lifetime is basically going to be prolonged because of the material that's basically going to be used to produce those products in these environments. So we know that just the ordinary product, because of the environment, can easily corrode. We have dual mic support. So in this case, the dual mic support will support up to a maximum of 18 meters distance from where the camera is. And this gives 80 decibels, single sound source pickup, as well as removes some background noise by noise reduction algorithms. So in this case, this can pick the slightest audio signals from the surroundings with up to a range of 18 meters. The other function or feature is basically the heat function, or the heater function. This supports operating and storage temperature ranges as low as -40 degrees Celsius to up to high temperature at 60 degrees centigrade or Celsius. So meeting most low temperature monitoring requirements. So in this thing, this heater function, what it does is basically it tries to ensure that that vapor, or maybe the moist, some clogs that's basically going to cover the lens because of the different temperature environment, the differences in different temperature environment. The heater function basically tends to clear up or maybe clean the lens so that it can see far much better. Then we have plastic-free packaging features for the product itself. So most of the packaging are basically eco-friendly, meaning that they can be recyclable, they can be recycled just to ensure that we don't end up polluting the environment a lot. So the WizMind 5 series uses innovative packaging technology, chooses environmentally friendly and degradable materials to deplasticize and upgrade all the product packaging. So in the event, let's say, for example, these materials are left, they can easily decompose or they can degrade, that meaning that they cannot pollute the environment. So eliminate the need of having plastic materials for providing the packaging for the cameras. So the plastic materials ends up polluting the environment, and then again takes a lot of time before they actually degrade completely. So the key features for this packaging is basically having the paperboard inside the box. Then again, we have the water-based oil on the surface of the product. So it means that this can survive in places where we have moisture, and the moisture cannot end up destroying the product inside the box. Then we have the PLA materials accessory bags. So this are basically used to carry those particular cameras. So moisture-proof surface on the box, so means that the material cannot seep in water just to destroy the packaging. So more on to this previous generation. Now here we have new generation packaging. In this case here, we had a lot of packaging, for example, plastic material. So this does not easily degrade. These are plastic material that's not that friendly to the environment. So in this case, the key feature or the value is basically providing environmentally friendly packaging. They're cost saving in terms of production. And again, they're highly reliable in terms of securing the product when, let's say, it falls. So the product will not be damaged at all. So application scenarios for this, we have different areas such as, for example, the stadiums. The stadiums, when the camera is placed in appropriate location or appropriate place, the camera will capture the images with its wide dynamic range. That's again, the field of view will be greater, meaning that will cap the quality of the images or the videos will have a lot of information captured. And then again, that dynamism makes the images a lot more better. We have compounds, we have terminals, for example, for rail stations, subway stations, etc. For pedestrian streets and the other scenic environments. We have luxury shops, the main roads and city roads. We have the car shops. And again, we have retail chains, just to ensure that we have that security enhanced. The recommended solution for this WizMind S series are as follows. So we need all the IPCs for the WizMind series category. We have, let's say, for example, the linkages. These are basically the cables, the Ethernet cables. We have a transmission device here just to ensure that it can interconnect to multiple other devices, connecting to a software platform, that's the DSS Pro, for easier management of all the products in one security environment. Then we have a recorder here, and that's the 5 series EI recorder or an IVSS series, just to ensure that you can record bulk information into this intelligent device here. So this will support different functions such as a video metadata. They support smart sound detection, that is by the camera. So NVR 4000 AICs again will support the following functions. That is by the cameras connected to the device, such as perimeter protection, face detection, just to mention a few. For the remote viewing, we'll employ the use of the DMSS application installed in our mobile phones and connected to this recorder here or any other device. So long as they have the serial numbers, connect to them. As long as they're online, you can always be either doing playback, preview, or the live view of whatever has been stored within this recorder here. So the product selection, we have IPCs, that's for the WizMind S series. We have different recorders from 4000 to 5000 EI series and the IVSS 7X series. Applications we can work with. For the client applications, we can work with the DMSS application. For the professional platforms, we can work with the DSS Pro software platform. So more the comparison between the different products. I'll share this material with you. Take a look at this comparison material. So we have the WizSense 3, WizMind 4, WizMind 5, and the WizMind S. So you can see the generational development between the WizSense to the WizMind platforms. Then you get to the WizMind S platform. So in this case, you can take a look at the comparisons based on the sensors, the minimal illumination, the iris, the interfaces, the different streams supported by the cameras, the power supplies, the temperatures where the product can work well. It's a smart motion detection levels. We have perimeter protection, face detection abilities, people counting functions, heat map functions, the smart object detection functions, then the video metadata and the sound detection functions. So in this case, most of these AI function this end only supported by the WizMind 5 and the WizMind S series. When it comes to the WizMind S series of these AI functions, the WizMind S series supports more functions compared with the WizMind 5 because WizMind S is an upgrade of the WizMind 5 function product line, that is. So that brings us to the end of today's discussion based on the WizMind S series, highlighting the advanced technologies from the WizMind 5 IPC products. So if there's a question, anyone can raise the question for us to get to help each other, assist each other on these particular items that we have here. So we're allowed to unmute your mics, state a question, comment, or clarification, etc. So if there are no questions, you can leave your email address there. I'm going to share this presentation with you so that you can take your own time to go through it slowly by slowly. So in this case, there is a link that I have uploaded all the files. So if you get to have that link, it will include even yesterday's materials and today's materials as well. So just make sure that you have dropped your email address here. I'm going to share that link with you. Again, I can add you to a certain group that I'll be sharing the materials, that particular section. So, but through the YouTube channel, I think that is effective enough just to ensure that you can go through those related materials that we've had discussion on. So thank you so much for being part of this. So you guys enjoy your day, have a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow for a different product knowledge. So you're free to leave at your own time. The class has ended. Do have a lovely day.